Ladies and gentlemen, I can't make this shit up. This shit is actually happening.
Are you serious?
This embarrassment, this pain of loss, this deception, this just bad everything, just wow. Wow. It really makes you laugh on the inside from the cringe, and I can't believe the AAA developers are doing this now because they're so butthurt that their game is just pew. And what game are we talking about? We're talking about Starfield! Starfield, yeah. What's going on with Starfield these days? Well, it seems that Bethesda is replying to negative Steam reviews with their own responses, but these responses might make you feel like, what? Is this really an actual worker for Bethesda posting this? Or is it something more mischievous than that? So let's dive right into it. Before we get started, hi, I'm NikoTheLegend. I'm also known as a well-mannered teenager, snowflake, rambling idiot, and vigil. And feel free to subscribe to the video if you enjoyed this. Alright, so let's get down to what the heck I am talking about here.
No! 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 Stop it! No! 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 Stop it! What?
Once upon a time, Starfield was this really hyped game that mostly everyone was very excited for. Very excited for. And Microsoft and Bethesda were taking their sweet time releasing this game and talking about it, discussing details. And it got pretty quiet for a while, and then it finally happened, and now we're here a few months later, and this is pretty much the state of Starfield. Is Bethesda is responding to negative reviews of Starfield on Steam. That's where we are. That's where we are with Starfield. Remember Bethesda? Remember when they used to make your favorite games of all time? And guess what? You're probably still playing them and not playing Starfield. It's pretty embarrassing when Skyrim has more concurrent players on Steam than it does for Starfield. What the fuck kind of world do we live in? This is bizarro Earth, I'm telling you folks. I mentioned negative comments. Let's get right into it. I'm going to read the introduction on IGN, and then we're going to just... I'm telling you, this is going to make you laugh. I kid you not. And if you've read this, you know exactly where I'm coming from. So, Bethesda has taken the unusual step for a AAA video game maker of responding to negative reviews of Starfield on Steam. Genuine or disingenuine? I can't fucking tell when these comments come up. As spotted by Project Zomboid developer Andy Hodgetts and flagged in a tweet, representatives of the Microsoft-owned company have been replying to negative reviews on Valve's platform since early November amid Starfield's mixed user review rating of 69%. Now, don't get me wrong, folks. 69% is 69%. Great number, obviously, in the bedroom. But it's not that bad, you know? 69% of the populace like the game and the rest don't, right? For many reasons, A, B, C, D. You can just look up all the videos you want about that on why. But it's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. Many of the negative reviews echo common complaints. Now, this is where it is bad. With the sprawling space game like this one posted on November 6th from a player with 56 hours in Starfield. Okay. Now, hear me out. Bear in mind and keep an open mind with me on this. Okay? Here it is. Boring and overrated. There is a wide universe to explore, filled mostly with empty planets. I understand. They have to do that to sell you on the idea that this is a whole universe. So, I like this comment so far. But that doesn't make the game more fun. And no, it doesn't. You can load on any planet and explore the copy-pasted locations. You will see the exact same locations from one end of the universe to the other and everywhere in between. A hodgepodge of messy, slapped-together mechanics, bloated skill trees, exploring, crafting, base building, and RPG and FPS, a space opera. Starfield doesn't know what it wants to be. As wide as the ocean, this is actually pretty good. As wide as the ocean and as deep as a puddle. I like that. It's pretty good. You can explore everywhere, but why would you want to? Very profound question. Why would you want to explore everything in Starfield when there's nothing to be gained from this? Now, for anybody who's diehard Starfield players, let me know. I want to know. I'm never going to play this game because I don't give a shit. Starfield didn't look interesting to me from the get-go, and I've seen a bunch of videos and stuff and read reviews and read this type of shit that's going on. It's just everything's put stale taste in my mouth. Maybe one day when it's like $10, I'll give it a shot when it's had like 50 updates. That's how it is these days. So, what did they say? How did Bethesda respond, you ask? Well, it's gonna get real good real quick.
You serious?
Greetings! That's how you know it's phony. Thank you for taking the time to leave a review for Starfield. We're sorry that you do not like landing on different planets and are finding many of them empty. Some of Starfield's planets are meant to be empty by design, but that's not boring.
Get over here!
You fucking ready for this? This quote here is gonna be so fucking, it's so cringe. When the astronauts went to the moon, there was nothing there. Not true, by the way. They certainly weren't bored. That's that quote. The intention of Starfield's exploration is to evoke a feeling of smallness in players and make you feel overwhelmed. But they're not feeling overwhelmed with boredom? You can continue to explore and find worlds that do have resources you need or hidden outposts to look through. To provide feedback to the development for Starfield, feel free to submit your feedback using this form here. Never stop exploring. Oh god, it's so bad. Listen, the astronauts, comparing a real-life example to a video game example is not a very good idea. AI response, or whatever. Listen, when people went on the moon, folks. See, when people went on the moon, folks, it was an adventure. It was a huge achievement of mankind, if you believe it or not, if it was made in a Hollywood basement. And things were great when they landed on the moon. It was the only time we ever landed on a different, well, floating piece of something in space. That's excitement in its own right? Big exploration. Small step for man, big step for mankind. That's great. That doesn't wear off very often because not many people get to do it. But when you have millions and millions and millions of players that get to do this on a daily basis and just fast travel and there's really no adventure or journey or anything great like that, all the above, and it's just really boring empty space. Oh, and guess what the astronauts had on the moon? The fucking Land Rover, a way to get across the surface. Guess what Starfield doesn't have? Vehicles, rovers to get from point A to point B. So, yeah, if you're gonna compare real-life examples, you better do your fucking homework. By the way, they played fucking golf on the moon, if you believe that story. Can't even play golf in any of these things. So, what is the point? It's AI response? I don't know. Cringe. Now, it's a pretty stock response, because it's not real. It's not real. Quotes Ashley Chen, Bethesda's managing director, who uttered the phrase, "When the astronauts went to the moon, there was nothing there." It's so not true. They certainly weren't bored, in a New York Times feature published ahead of Starfield's September launch. There was something there. Discovery, exploration, fun. Science was being created.
Science dance! Hey, princess! You want to spend some time with me?
So, here's a more recent response again from the busy Bethesda Kraken to a negative review from a Starfield player with over 76 hours. Alright, here we go. The story is as generic as it gets and the gameplay gets boring. I wish there was a reason to even bother exploring planets and building outposts. Everything is fun until you do it once. Then it's all repeating. Soulless chore. Right? And that game definitely has it. And here's the developer response posted. Greetings, thank you for taking the time to leave a review for Starfield. You can fly, you can shoot, you can mine, you can loot.
It's a plane! It's Superman!
It's so bad. It's so bad. Starfield is an RPG with hundreds of hours of quests to complete and characters to meet, which majority will say the side quests are pretty boring and garbage. Most quests will also vary on your character's skills and decisions, massively changing the outcome of your playthrough. Try creating different characters with backgrounds and characteristics that clash or are opposite of your previous character. You will feel like you're playing a totally different game. Hey, ever played a video game before? This is what you do. Put points in different skills from a character you previously created, and you're now faced with completely different decisions to make and difficulties to encounter. There are many layers to Starfield, and you'll find things you never knew were possible after playing for hundreds of hours. Even after completing the main story, your adventure doesn't end.
It's Superman!
You can continue on to New Game Plus to keep exploring Starfield and all that it is out there. Never stop exploring. This just sounds like you're just throwing a sales pitch to, I don't know, Shark Tank. That's not an actual response to what the player is talking about. He's just talking about exploring planets and building outposts. You know, What does making a new character have anything to do with getting bored? You've already done everything in your first character. After one time, you're bored. Making a new character is not going to change that boring feeling. Not really. Because the core game itself remains the same. You're just changing the template to your character. That's not going to... Yeah, no. So this is by the Handy Hoggets. He says, I commented Bethesda on actually responding to some of the negative reviews of Starfield on Steam, but I'm not sure that telling people who find certain things boring that these things are not in fact boring is a particularly wise move. But I'm not sure that telling people... Yeah. It's boring. No, it's not boring. Well, we're at a standstill. I mean, you can reference that the actual moon is empty if you like, and that astronauts who land there didn't find this emptiness boring, but there's a big difference between landing on the actual moon and doing the same in a video game. Exactly. And what did I say? They had Land Rovers to go travel around, and they played fucking golf, okay? Give me a fucking break. So, there you have it, folks. Those are just some prime examples of the embarrassing Starfield fiasco that's going on. How does that make you feel when you heard me read all those? And there's still some more reviews to come. I'm telling you, these developers do it to themselves, okay? When you don't promise a product that you overhype for yourself, and other nerds hype as well, it's not just the developer, it's a two-way street. When you're just not helping, you're just shooting yourself in the foot over and over and over. Pretty soon you're not going to have a foot left over. And that's just how it goes. Wider than an ocean and as deep as a puddle. That's what those responses are like. That's how Starfield apparently is like for a lot of people. And there is a big reason why people are playing Skyrim more than Starfield on Steam right now. Big fucking reason. Can you find the real reason? Probably because the game is actually better. Now, me personally, Bethesda hasn't been really that great of a game developer when it comes to their games, like Bethesda games itself. Ever since Skyrim, and I hate to say it, Skyrim was probably the death of like Bethesda's motivation to make anything really creative. Didn't care for Fallout 4, Fallout 76, put like 20 to 30 hours, boring, and then you get fucking Starfield, and I don't even buy a Bethesda. I don't even buy this. Fucking boring, just boring. Oh man, releasing all the different fucking Skyrim editions. Bethesda Games Studios is not the studio we knew back in 2011, not even close. It's just like all the other companies. They find a way, a cheap way to make an assload of money, and they milk every penny because they have their reputation that sells them games. Okay, it's like every person that waits in line for the stupid iPhone to come out when it just has one or two things that are different. And it gets you guys every time. It's the same fucking thing. We fall for it all the time. These guys know we're dumb enough to do it, and that's why they keep doing it. Other AAA developers are a little better about that type of I call it malpractice because it's fucking cheapskate bullshit. Fucking lying to your audience like that. So, folks, how does this make you feel? How do you feel about Bethesda responding to negative reviews on Steam? I know we've been here for a while, but there was kind of a lot to cover here just to give you the context you need. This makes me just not want to play the game even more. I can't be the only one here. Now, I'm not trying to diss the game, okay? This is just my personal opinion. If you have played Starfield and don't play it anymore, and hopefully we have this honor code in here where nobody attacks other people. But let me know what you thought in Starfield and why you're playing it and why you're not still playing it. I want to know. Let me know ways to make it better. Besides all the mods that are already out for the game. But what would you do to make it better? I'd like to know as well. Anyway, folks, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. But I kept you here long enough, so I will leave you with that. Just remember that Starfield, as big as it is, it's very small in imagination. It's kind of embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing, right? Anyway, I've been your host, NikoTheLegend, and I hope to see you again, Pathfinders.
Sweet.